So at Wandanya, we mapped originally 3 kilometres of strike of outcropping manganese and with some iron mineralisation. We've conducted 3 drill programs now across that 3 kilometres, and practically every hole that we drilled in there has actually encountered either manganese mineralisation or iron mineralisation, which is a really outstanding result. This is all discovery drilling. It's not infill drilling, it's all discovery drilling. So it remains open to the north, the south and the east. So there's still probably a few more drill intersects that we'll get onto next year as well. And in the last quarterly, the northern drill lines actually have delivered thicker and higher grades than anything we drilled previously. We were talking 8 to 10 metres of manganese, above 35% manganese, and some of those intervals are actually above 45% manganese. So very pleased with those results. Often you drill a program and the first holes are the best holes, but in our case, it's been the last holes have actually been more improved than some of the early holes. Let's hope that trend continues as we continue to explore to the north. Well, we've got a lot going on at the moment. We've had quite a massive year in terms of the RC drilling to delineate the mineralisation. The next steps for us are really do some actual infill drilling on that 3 kilometres of strike. And in order for us to do that, we need more engagement with the heritage group up there. So we've already done quite a few heritage surveys. We'll continue that next year. In other feasibility related studies, we need to do more detailed metallurgical test work. So the diamond rig is turning up this week, and we should have our first diamond core by the end of next week. That core is really important for us to understand how the manganese oxide and the iron oxides are going to process and how we upgrade it as well. So it's a really important part of the process. In parallel, next year, we're also looking at doing environmental surveys, do the first baseline environmental surveys. So we'll get those underway. And then other parts of, I guess, any project is looking at logistics, transport, site layouts. We can all do that in parallel with continue the exploration drilling. So yeah, quite a bit happening certainly over the next 3 to 6 months. Well, we've been a pretty small team in the past, and having someone like Clint Moxham join the team in the last month has actually been a massive help to me. I've kind of been running the company, running the programs, been out there on site, but now we've got Clint on site. He's a geologist and a mining engineer. He's got the best of both worlds, and he doesn't mind getting out in the bush, and he'll be on the diamond rig when that turns up as well in the next week and looking at the core for the first time. So that'll be really exciting for him to be involved. But as the project progresses, Clint can put on his mining engineering hat, and he can also help, understand how the site's going to, lay out and, how we're going to sequence the mining from the iron ore into the manganese. And so that's going to be a huge help as well. And he's got a lot of operational experience, which is a big advantage to the team. We are growing the team slowly. We're not rushing out and employing large numbers of staff. I just think we'll just continue to build as we need extra people to come on board. And so with the recent $10 million placement, I think it does two things. Number one, it takes away the concern around a company always having to raise money. With $10 million in the bank, at the end of the last quarter, we had $11.6 million in the bank. So that's a substantial amount of funds for a small company. That gives us the horsepower, I guess, or the firepower to continue our exploration activities, look in parallel, looking at doing at the early feasibility stage type studies as well. And we've also got 2,000 square kilometres up there in the Pilbara that we'd like to spend more time on and exploring. So very excited to have the money in the bank, and we can just continue to add value for our shareholders in Black Canyon. So in the December quarter, we're moving towards that Christmas New Year period when traditionally up in the north, things do quieten down. It's very hot and it can get wet. We've still got assays to come back from the last 92 holes from the third phase of RC drilling that we completed in August. So that's still to come back from the lab. Hopefully we'll get that into the market quite soon. The diamond drilling program will commence later this week. That'll be on site for about 2 months, drilling about 500 meters of PQ3 diamond core, which will be processed, and then that'll go to the lab, and then that will be used for the metallurgical test work, looking at manganese oxides, manganese carbonates, and also iron oxides as well. So it'll be quite a big program. So there'll be news flow generated from that as we receive those results. We'll also be continuing heritage surveys, a key part of our work program, so we can get access to further areas to the north, particularly of the Wandanya discovery, and we can start doing our first drill holes into that early next year. Also heritage surveys so we can complete the infill drilling along the 3 kilometres of strike that we've already delineated at Wandanya. We also look to conclude the acquisition of the Nundalamo assets. Importantly, there's a tenement to the south of the Wandanya discovery where we already know there's 400 metres of outcropping manganese that we want to go out and drill. But to the south of there's probably another 1 to 1.8 kilometres of prospective horizon. That mapping has shown to extend for about 1.8 kilometres. So there's also manganese and there's iron oxide being mapped along there as well. So hopefully we can continue expanding this discovery at Wandanya. We're looking at 3 kilometres in the central part. There's another 3 kilometres to the north, and potentially another 2 kilometres to the south. So quickly do the maths, that's getting up to 8 kilometres long. A very substantial system, so plenty more to do next year.